This is your fault then. It doesn't matter how much you push the envelope. It'll still be stationary. No pun intended.
What I love about this scene is that, like, she's so proud of herself for this horrible joke. You can tell that Joel's just like kind of compiling the information, like, what is happening here? Why am I subjected to this? I don't even understand this. He's lived so much in this apocalyptic world where everything was kind of about survival that this kind of silly frivolity from a 14-year-old girl, he doesn't really get, but there's like kind of something there with it.
Volume 2 by Will Livingston. Volume 2. Look, you get it? 2, like T-O-O.
He's slightly disappointed.
What did the mermaid wear to her math class? An algebra.
I did kind of like that one. I'm gonna say like that was kind of like algebra, like that was cute.
I stayed up all night, wondering where the sun went, and then it dawned on me.
And then he's going like, no, stop it. It's not just because he can't handle the puns right now, because like his stress is on. And when someone is very, very stressed under a high pressure situation, it has to get something done. To have someone else being silly and funny while you're under stress and upset often causes a lot of frustration, especially for Joel's kind of, I'm gonna do what I have to do, get the job done, but nothing more attitude, that he's kind of cut away all of the other parts of his life to be able to just be this workhorse. But then you can see in his eyes there's something more than he recognizes. The no that he says, I think that this is more like, no, I don't want to emotionally go there. This reminds me of Sarah. This reminds me of my daughter. I can't be emotionally attached to you.
Feel free to wait in the truck.
Okay, but just know, you can't escape Will Livingston. He'll be back.
Now he's being a little bit tongue-in-cheek back with her. There's this cute little repartee in between both of them, this back and forth where they're teasing each other, which shows that they're starting to feel comfortable with each other. It's perhaps a glint of being a little proud of how happy she is, and he seems to be just a touch enjoying it. Joel has built up this defense mechanism to try to keep everyone else out, to not form emotional attachments. I think that that's what Tess was telling him when she said, I didn't ask you to feel the way I felt. Even though you could tell they had a really close relationship, it kind of insinuated that he didn't let her fully in. And I think that he doesn't want to let Ellie in either, because in this world that means that the more that he cares about her, then he has something to lose, just like what happened with Frank and Bill. He's been scared, terrified, and actually lost someone that means more than anything else in the world to him. And so having to do that again would be such a painful experience that he doesn't want to become emotionally attached, and is doing everything in his power to try to push her away, though she was kind of remarkably cute and charming in these moments. And sassy, which I think also are similar traits to kind of a relationship he had with Sarah. And it's kind of interesting. You might want to take a look at my video with Joel and Ellie on the video game, which has a similar scene where she's using the puns as a way to kind of break down his defenses, and that's what started to kind of let them both bond together.
It's light on the reading, but it has some interesting pictures.
Oh, no. Put that back. That's not for kids.
I love the acting where like she sees something, it's like too much, where she kind of like grimaces and like pulls away, which is the natural body language when it happens when we see something that we have an adverse reaction to. We're gonna make kind of a distasteful look in our face, and we'll want to create some distance. Not the most pleasant of visuals for her right now. It's a little bit shocking.
Why are all these pages stuck together? I'm just with you.
But then you can see that mischievous grin where she's like, I'm gonna get one on him. This is gonna be fun. And I love this side of Ellie, that she's gonna try to poke at the bear as often as she can in this cute way. He's doing the parent thing. He's saying how this is not appropriate for her. If he doesn't have any care for her, why should any of this matter? So already he's taking up a parental role, even if he doesn't mean to. Those old fathering instincts have not left him.
Bye-bye, dude!
know, though, if someone asks a very specific question, you want to give an honest answer up to their age level, but you want to be able to be accurate, especially if she's touching something that she shouldn't be touching. I think that we kind of went through that stress response of, I have no clue what to say, so I'm just going to make a noise. But really, you want to be just direct and honest. And so he could have said, you may not want to know, but you probably shouldn't touch that, and I think we should wash your hands. Whether she wants more information, where you would use the technical terms and you would be able to be very direct and specific about it. And then only if they ask more questions and they want to know, then you would share more things. But you want to kind of go through these, especially issues about sexuality, in a very clinical and direct way. When we use too many euphemisms and words that don't have specific meaning, people can interpret that very differently. And so because of that, they don't end up with the basic sexual knowledge that they should have. So when is it appropriate to talk to your child about sexuality? When they are able to ask questions, you should answer them, and you should probably think through your thoughts of how you would answer those questions before they're being asked.
Joe!
What?
Can I ask you a serious question?
Yeah.
Why did the Scarecrow get an award?
You see her eyes, that glint of like the mischievousness. She's so proud of herself.
Because he was outstanding in his field?
You? Did you read this?
No. I'll go to sleep.
And he's proud of himself. He's starting to care what she feels about him, because when we are giving something back that we're kind of hoping that the reaction, like her being upset at him for getting the right answer, is exactly what made him happy. You can see by that huge grin on his face of satisfaction as he curls back in and tells her to go to sleep.
You keep going for family. That's about it.
I'm not family.
No. You're cargo. I made a promise to Tess, and she was like family.
What she hopes so much to be, and that she even asked the question, is so heartbreaking. It kind of goes over and you don't really hear it. I'm not family. You go on for family, but you're not. And that pushback from him of specifics. Not only are you not family, you are just cargo. You are just an object to me that I have to deliver. You can tell that he is trying to push back all of those emotions of attachment that he already has growing for Ellie, because if she really was cargo, he wouldn't be making jokes with her, and he wouldn't be caring about the appropriateness of what she's looking at and what she can see. Because that's something that a father or a guardian would do, not just anyone, or a very caring adult, of course.
Thing is I didn't hear that guy coming, and he shouldn't have had to, you know.
But you're glad I did, right?
There's two really cute moments between here, as both of their feelings of guilt and obligation to the other. Joel feels like he's now put her in a position of her having to do something that she shouldn't have to at her young age. But I love that Ellie's response, that she cares, that he's happy that she made the decision that she did to pretty much save him. And that's already showing that Ellie is also forming an attachment to Joel. And not just to save his life, but she cares of his opinion. One of those parameters is, how much do you care about disappointing others? How much of a caretaker are you? And the stronger that you are to not want to disappoint the people that you love or care about, the stronger of a caretaker you are. And a caretaker is someone that will put their own needs or wants aside to be able to take care of other people in their life.
Well, you're just a kid. You shouldn't know what it means to. It's not like you killed him. But shooting or...
Maybe not the best way of handling it.
I know what it's like. First time that you hurt someone like that. If you, well, I'm not good at this.
Yeah, you really aren't.
No, he really isn't very good at it, but he tried. And that's the one thing that matters more than being good at it or not. He could have just avoided this subject completely, which is what he usually does, but because he's starting to feel that parental role, he feels like he needs to be able to do a little bit of a decompression moment for what happened and gauge how Ellie is doing and how she's feeling. What I would have suggested to Joel is to really just ask her. Often when we're parents, we're trying to impart knowledge and tell people things and tell them how they should feel and how they should deal with it and that we get it as well. Instead, I think that it's really important to start off from asking someone else questions of, how do they feel and what do they want to do about it? Because then you can gauge better where they're at. The imparting of knowledge usually happens much earlier in a child's development where that's important. Now, as a young woman, she actually already has her own sets of thoughts and feelings and justifications and feelings of guilt. What you would want to do in that parental role is to be able to let her know that it's okay, even if she doesn't feel okay. I'm here if you want to talk, and be honest. I don't know if I have all of the answers, but I'll definitely be here to listen. But he still gets marks for being there and knowing that he should address it.
I mean, it was my fault. You shouldn't have had to. And I'm sorry.
There, he did it. That was perfect, right to kind of the point, and Ellie felt it. Ellie felt the gravity of his words because he meant them, and they don't have to be flowery and like they were put on a poster. They have to be really true and raw, letting her know that he feels bad for what she had to do and appreciates it.
When we were talking about hurting people, what did you mean it wasn't your first time?
I don't want to talk about it.
All right.
This was a wonderful moment of Joel's parenting. It's a hard thing when your child has information, and it's a hard thing to know when should you push to be able to find out that information versus where should you respect that they have their own autonomy to be able to share and not share what they want to. I love that he just said okay, that it was all right, and didn't pressure her or guilt her, try to control her or bribe her into getting this information out. It goes a lot towards their feelings of trust with one another, because also when Joel stated that he didn't want to share a certain amount of information, she respected that as well. And so that shows that they also have a wonderful partnership, that it's more than just I'm the boss and you have to do everything I say. He was being respectful to her boundaries, and I love that she was able to set them, to be able to say, I don't feel like sharing this right now, or at all. And it's not always the right way to go about it. In specific circumstances, you may want to push more, but I think that in this case, it was the perfect response to the situation. Because they're just forming a relationship. They don't have a trusted, secure base to be able to form anything on. And so if he had pushed, she probably would have went more into her shell and not trusted Joel as much or as easily.
Joel, did you know diarrhea is hereditary? It runs in your genes.
That is so damn stupid.
You laugh?
I love that he's saying it's stupid, but at the same time, he's giggling. It's kind of what people might do at a sleepover or when you've been up too long, but that's a sign of closeness when you can kind of have this little inside joke or tease each other and then just giggle with each other. People don't do that with cargo.
I didn't laugh.
Yes, you did.
Jesus, I'm losing it.
You're losing it big time.
So cute. That is just so father-daughter, the giggling, the go to sleep, but it was just so adorable. And they have, like, Joel is the cutest giggle, by the way. I loved that moment. I think that that was that kind of that last grip of like attaching to each other. I think that that was the sign. That was the moment where they really did become father and daughter. Want to prepare yourself to live through the zombie apocalypse? Start learning those skills you'll need now with Brilliant, where you will gain an understanding of the basics of computer science, physics, quantum mechanics, game theory, and everything you need to be prepared to be the Last of Us. Brilliant is an amazing tool for learning STEM interactively. So if you want to learn more about science, technology, engineering, mathematics, check out Brilliant's growing catalog of courses, which are specifically crafted to help you learn concepts through working through them yourself in visual, hands-on ways. And all the lessons are presented in these little bite-sized pieces, so you can learn at your own pace, no pressure. And if you ever feel stuck, Brilliant has in-depth explanations that break down the material even more. Like their courses on logic with challenging problem-solving exercises that allow you to construct the critical thinking skills that are the basis for mathematical reasoning and surviving when there's a whole bunch of zombies coming at you. And Brilliant has thousands of lessons just like these with new exclusive content being added every single month, so you never have to stop learning and you can learn without having to break your budget. All you have to do to get started for free is by visiting brilliant.org/Georgia Georgia Dow or click on the link in the description. The first 200 people will get 20% off Brilliant's annual premium subscription. So just click on the button on the screen and head on over to brilliant.org/Georgia Dow. Clicking on that button really does help out this channel, so thank you. And so does clicking on the playlist above for more videos on the psychology of your favorite shows. You can also check out my other videos on The Last of Us. I cover the Last of Us video game, which is kind of cute because there's so many similarities between these scenes and the video game, and there's a lot of interesting dynamics where they diverge. So let me know in the comments below.